So, Gedalia ben Tzivia, right?
Yes.
Okay, Parashas Truma, Tafshin Pei Gimel. This is a complementary, to the shir of yesterday. It's not the usual Zohar shir. I've been kicked out of my office, using my son's office. Why am I giving this shir? Because it's so fundamental about one aspect. Living with a thought that something incorrect is being done, or I'm not using my time the best way possible, or the way HaKadosh Baruch Hu prescribed it, is not a way a Jew should live, especially if he's doing the right thing. So that would be two wrongs when basically he's doing something right. And this subject is discussed in our Parsha. There's a tremendous, tremendous knowledge about this very discussion from the time of the Tanoim, which you all know, all had a job. From the time of the Amoraim, which you all know, all had a job. Was it because they were unable any other way to support themselves? Or is it willingly because they totally refused to be paid by the community? Is there an inyan not to be paid by a community for a rabbi, or because it became in the later years, to have a rav to pay for it, it's in halacha, a mored tzedek, someone who would be able to teach halachas to the Amo and Am, people who are not versed in halacha, would be, a good thing to do. But what about the others? What's going to happen to them? What about their potential? Have they achieved it or have they not achieved it? So you remember from last time, we're going to start with the psukim again, because everything I'm going to say tonight will be in the psukim. So we start the Parasha of Vaydaber Hashem and Moshe Leimo, Daber Bnei Yisrael. You remember, I'm going to go very quick over it. Why is it such a harsh language? If you want to raise money, you go with a soft tone, not a harsh one. Veikhuli, you don't take from people, especially if you might brush them the wrong way. You want to tell them to give, but you don't want to go to take. We spoke about the teruma last night. What is this language of teruma? It should have been in Pashas Kisisa, because there it's explained. We're talking about the Machatzis HaShekel. We brought the Yerushalmi, the Adonim, that it was for the food base of the poles, And in these two, we said that the rich and the poor were equal, and they could not bring more than half a shekel, not more. However, for the one about the korbanos, each one could give as much as they wanted. So we're going to go into this pasuk, but we're going to start with the pasuk that was stated in Parshas Mishpatim, just last week. Va'avatem es Hashem Elokeichem, and you will serve HaKadosh Baruch Hu your God. Uverach es lachmecha ve'es memecha, and he will bless you bread and your waters. V'hasiroisi machla mikirbecha, and I will remove sickness from among you. There's a little problem in this pasuk. Actually, there's a big problem in this pasuk. In grammar, tremendously big problem. Va'avatem, the temp is plural. Uverach, singular. Lachmecha, singular. Memecha, singular. Kirbecha, singular. So what are we telling us here? Va'avatem es Hashem Eloikechem. In plural, you will serve HaKadosh Baruch Hu, but he will bless only the waters, the bread and the waters, the Parasha of one. How is it possible? Why is the pasuk changing temp right in the middle? Here, the Meor V'Shemesh has a tremendous vort on this. It's known. It's a famous vort from the Meor V'Shemesh. And he's stressing Va'avatem in plural, because when you work, you do the Avodas Hashem, has to be done with the tzibur. As we explained yesterday, I think we went deep enough. If you need more clarification on this, I will explain. Every time avodah, which is either tefillah or Torah, has to be betzibur. Betzibur doesn't mean every time I'm learning it has to be a quorum of 10. No, it has to be bad bebad, one against another. Says the Me'or V'Shemesh, was tremendous Rebbe. He says this is a guarantee for Parnasa. When a person daven is makpi to daven all his tefillas based with tzibur is a Parnasa, and the bracha, there's always bracha in his endeavors, Masi Yodayim. Whatever he undertakes, there is bracha. But more than this, he explains the pasuk, Berav Am Hadras Melech. So usually this pasuk means with the more people, there's more hidur, there's more cherishing to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. He says no, Hadras, from the Lashon going back. Even the, like we explained yesterday, but through a different angle. So we're going to go at the psukim today on a totally different angle. When, even if HaKadosh Baruch Hu came out with Xeris on Bnei Yisrael that are not the best, Berov Am, when Bnei Yisrael daven together, Hadras Melech, from Hadar, he comes back on his own decrees. That's the Lashon of so when, according to him, the touch in the pasuk is Va'avatem es Hashem Elokeichem, you will serve HaKadosh Baruch Hu, and in return, each one of you that were there, and we're going to see today from Rabbi Yaakov Abu Chatzera more in the language what it means on the Truma, on the pasuk on Truma, but we'll see a bit later. Despite your level of concentration and intent in your davening, your tefillah will be accepted, and you will also benefit from the bracha that occurs when there's a tzibur davening. Tremendous explanation on this pasuk from the Me'or V'Shemesh. Tremendous. He says when David HaMelech wrote the Tehillim was not written to be just a book of prayers for people to be able to pray. Why? Because it says in Divrei Hayamim, when David HaMelech finished, it says Baruch Hashem Eloikei Yisrael min ha'olam ve'ad ha'olam kalu tefillos David ben Yishai. HaKadosh Baruch Hu should be blessed from the world to the world. Different meaning what it means, but it means from all the worlds. At this point, and the prayers of David HaMelech. What do you mean they end the praise of David HaMelech? Mina oilam ve'ada oilam. Explain the Me'or Shemesh here. David HaMelech daven with the Ruach HaKodesh. He saw all the problems that Bnei Israel are going to go through the generation. And his Tehillim, it's a plaint, it's a davening to HaKadosh Baruch Hu to provide for the Bnei Israel in their suffering and to hear their prayers and to remove the bad decrees and to heal the sick people. All these special Tehillim are all for Bnei Israel. However, this is true only while this world exists. After this world won't exist anymore, Mashiach will come. Kalu tefilos David ben Ishai. We would not need prayers anymore. Very innovative explanation on this. But he explains with this that there's not going to be, since there's not going to be a Mekatreg anymore, there's not going to be a Satan anymore at this point, there will be no need for having a tefillas because there's not going to be bad decrees. So now he explains with this, goes back to the pasuk when Hashem says, "V'hasiroisi machla mikirbecha," is whenever a person davens with a tzibur, even the decrees of sicknesses and everything end. The same way as the tefillas of David will end when Mashiach comes, the same way the decrees, the bad decrees, and when a person daven b'tzibur. And what's the proof? He says, look, vayechal. It says we're using the word vayechal Moshe. It means lechalo is pnei Hashem. In English, the word escapes me right now. It's not to visit. It's to Vayechal Moshe es pnei Hashem Eloikav. And Moshe, okay, I don't have the exact word, visited, lechalos. And he says, Machla is also Vasiroisi, and I will remove all the need of prayers from you. Just to summarize, what's the connection with Truma? It's a great vote. Very, very nice vote. And we're going to use it. We saw it yesterday through a different aspect. From the Zohar, from the Arya Kodesh, from the Magid Mesharim. We saw the importance, the tremendous importance. And today we're going to see it through the Arya Kodesh. Also, a different one. What he says about a tefillah that is said in the Tzibur, what it does is tremendous. But now, the Me'or Shemesh gave us through that pasuk the end of the power of the tefillah. What is the outcome? Now we know from yesterday that the Truma is the tefillah. The Truma purpose is to raise the Malchus. And we went through the conditions yesterday of Vezois HaTeruma, just to repeat it one more time. It means it requires Shiflus. He was 871 Vezois HaTeruma. HaShiflus equals the same amount, and so forth. Here, I understand from the Me'or Shemesh the greatness of always being with the tzibur, and he can protect me. On the other way, I have to eat. Yes, Adam le'amal yula, a person is born to toil, and he has a choice where he wants to toil. Do you want to toil in the avodas Hashem, or do you want to toil in in your job, in your Parasha. We're going to look at the psukim. We said in the Aseret Adibros, Sheishes Yamim Tavoi, for 6 days you will work, Ve'asisa Kol Melachtecha, and you will do all your job. Singular, not plural, singular. So we see here a concept that in the Aseret Adibros that you must work, and you have to do so. If they're here, is it considered a mitzvah, or the Torah is giving us, in case you have any occupation, or in case you need to do a melacha, because we know the lametes melachas are asur on Shabbos. And if you need fire, you need to cook, you need to eat, so you can do everything you need to do during the 6 days of the week. The 39 melachos, remember from yesterday, I spoke about the lulav. We had Yud, K, Vav, and then the Hey. That's the esrog that we need to put together. So also the tefillah is to raise the malchus together. If you take the Yud K Vav, the 3 letters that are together, okay, Hadas Arava Lulav, Yud K Vav, equal 39. When Adam Arishon sinned, he affected this name. That's why the 39 melachos came out. That's why the lashes of someone who sinned are 39, because he also affected that name. So any type of isur, that prohibition that is done by someone that affects this, the Torah gave the 39 malchus. Let you understand. On the other hand, the person that supports that name, that raised that name, that brings back nitzoitzos that fell from that name and bring them back to that name, then instead of being, so this is what we call lametes melachos, lametes malchus. But now it will turn around and it will become tal techia, the dew of when HaKadosh Baruch Hu is going to want to, after when Mashiach comes, amen, HaKadosh Baruch Hu will send a dew of life. You see, tal is exactly the same letters, but it's opposite. So on one side, you're affecting, so it's the same. In the center, we have exactly the same name. And that's what we're going to deal with. So are you telling me basically on Shabbos, it's called Lametes Melachos, I'm not allowed to do it. But maybe during the week, the intention of the pasuk is to tell me you must do that. Because the lotion of the pasuk, the language of the pasuk seems to be a mitzvah aseh. Sheshes yamim kavod, you must work. Do I affect this name with my work? Do I enhance that name with my work is the question. Second question I have, in Parshas Vayakhel, and it says almost the same thing in Parshas Kisisa, and by the way, afterward I found that the Mechilta, the Rabbi Shmuel, is asking that question. Sheshes Yamin Tei Ase Melacha. It's not an active form, it's a passive form. The job will be done. I don't have to work anymore. You're right. It doesn't say ta'avod here. No, during the 6th day, your work will be done. In Parshas Kisisa, it says, Ye ase melacha. But that's a shir I gave last year on on Parshas Vayakhel. So I don't want to go into it right now. I just want to ask a very direct question, pertaining our subject here. What is this tavoid? In these 6 days, what do I have to do? Is it a mitzvah or is it not a mitzvah? Or maybe in the contrary, maybe by working during the week, I'm in the Lamed Tes, because now I know that since Shabbos, the Lamed Tes Meloches are also automatically during the week they're permitted, but usually it's the opposite. So I must do them. Because when you perform them with the right intention, automatically whatever was desecrated from the name of Hashem, you're repairing it with your work. Is that the intention? I think the question now is really clear, and we have settled with the idea of now, it's not only you having this problem, the Torah is raising this problem. It's hard for me to think because I'm not in my office with my Sfarim, and I wanted to look at a Sefer right now. But anyway, they're changing the light in my office just for you to know why I'm out. There's a tremendous midrash in Koheles. We're going to go now in the world of Tanaim, okay? Rebbe Ken, it says in the Pasuk in Koheles, Re'eh Chaim im Isha Asher Ahavta. The goal in life is to live your life with the woman you love, Ahavta you loved, okay? Rebbe comes, and there's a midrash giving that touch. What's the meaning of that pasuk? Says, let me tell you. When Rebbe came in, and they were there in sitting down, Rabbi Yosef ben Meshulam and Rabbi Shimon ben Menashe. The two were sitting down, and he referred to them as Eida Kedoisha, the Saint Assembly. Well, Rebbe, the Holy Rebbe refers to others as a Saint Assembly. So right away, the Midrash asked, but why? What happened? Why is he complimenting them on what? He says because they divided their time by 3. 1/3 of the day they were davening, 1/3 they were learning Torah, and 1/3 they were working. We're talking about Shem ben Menashe, and this same story happened with Rabbi Yitzchak ben Elazar when he came to Rabbi Yeshua, and he called them also, I forgot who the other, he called them Eida Kedoisha, and the Midrash says exactly the same thing, because they divided the day in 3, exactly 3. 1/3 you daven, 1/3 you learn Torah, 1/3 you work. If you assume that someone's day is 9 hours or whatever, maybe more, the official Eisenbach Zatzal was holding you have to work 3 hours a day, at least 3 hours. Even if you want to learn, if you're sitting and learning, you still have to work 3 hours a day. And we're gonna see the reason. We're gonna start going in a mind-boggling world. Where is mine? I don't want to tell you this Mishnah by heart, because this Mishnah is fundamental, and you need to find it in Pirkei Avos, Perek Bes, Mishnah Beis. Okay, this is going to be fundamental. Rabban Gamliel, Benoi shel Rabbi Yehuda Hanasi, the son of Rebbe. This is what he says. Yafe Talmud Torah. The right thing to do is to learn Torah, but with derech eretz. Derech eretz means the way of life, means you have to support yourself. Sheyegia shnehem, because toiling in both, meshakachas avei, make the sin go away. Mean forgetful. What do you mean forgetful? You forgot about it, but it's still here? No, goes away. Vechol Torah, and any Torah, she'ein ima melacha, that not accompanied by some kind of job, soifa betela, at the end, it will be null. Vegoireres oven, and would create and would drag, or will that person will become a sinner. Again, when the person learns Torah and works, that's the goal in this life. But once a person learns Torah but has no job, soifa beteila vegoireres oven. I know I'm going in hot waters to give that share, but this is the Torah of my Rebbe, and I live by it and I hold by it. So I'm not afraid of anything on this. Satmar Rebbe, Zatzal Rebbe Yoel Teitelbaum, all his Chassidim, go out and work. And we're going to see the limitation, but we're just in the center of the shir right now. We see from here that the Tanaim themselves, and we have to understand what it means, that what are the two sides? Torah with derech eretz, and the Bartenora there says, because the Torah weakens the body, however, working breaks the body. Since the Satan is attaching himself to the body, which means to the physical part, if he has nothing, if he doesn't glue the physical part, he won't be able to entice a person to sin. The melacha, the same way you have a fruit, if you realize, how do we call the shell of a fruit in Hebrew? Someone knows? Open your microphone and tell me. I don't remember. How do we?
Klipa.
Who?
The klipa.
Who said that?
Jeff.
Very good, Jeff. What is the klipa? When we say the word klipa, is that a compliment or it's an insult usually?
It's negative.
It's negative. But every fruit, the fruit is alive, it's inside, and that's the nature around us. It needs to be protected by a klipa. You need a shell. If you want, now we're starting having through the Bartenora another vision on the Mishnah. If you want your Torah to be affected, if you wear a black suit and someone spilled, there was a soifer, all of a sudden he had his kulmos, boom, he went on you. People are barely going to see the stain. Almost cannot differ the black from the black, even though it's two different blacks. However, if you were wearing a white cloth and this happened, you would stand out a mile away. You never want the Torah, your Torah, to be affected by the Satan, because it's a different thing. If someone close to the kings of the kings, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, and since, with the crown itself, rather than someone is the janitor of the palace, because at this time he's a janitor of the palace, and he's seen on the broom. You see the difference here? It's tremendous. So the Torah, the Bartenora says, the Torah needs to have its protection. And the Shulchan Aruch paskins like this in Siman Kuf Nun Vav and says, after davening, a person should go to work. And he has a different lashon than the Mishnah to tell us that he's adding something. So the Mechaber is adding, and he says, because if a person doesn't work, what it means that the Torah is betela and goyreres aven and will incur sins, is because the person will be poor. And when an ani complains to Hashem, he has words which are not proper and could be, which are basically, even the Zohar brings it down, he rebels. So this is the oven. He rebels on his master. He rebels on his creator. And this is what poverty brings. So you must have, says the Mechaber, you must have a job. The Torah should be your ikar. Your job should be secondary. The Ohr HaChaim HaKadosh, you all know the story. The Ohr HaChaim HaKadosh used to have a job. What was his job? He used to embroider silver and gold filament in cloth. And he used to make exactly what he needed to live. But this is Ohr HaChaim HaKadosh. One time, the Sultan was marrying his daughter, and they came with a cloth to the Ohr HaChaim HaKadosh on the name of the soldiers, on the name of the Sultan. You have to do us this cloth, and this is how we want. So much gold we brought you, and so much silver. Do it with us. The Ohr HaChaim HaKadosh says, I'm sorry, for the next 2 weeks I won't work. Why not? He says, because I made already enough money, and me, when I make my Parasha, I don't work anymore. I say, we'll come in 3 days. If you're not done with it, we'll throw you to the in the lion's den. That's how they used to kill people then. Chaim HaKadosh was not shocked. 3 days later, they come, they see the pile where they left it, the silver empty. They go to the Sultan say, no question, in the hole. He asked one favor before he left his house, says, can I take my Tehillim with me? These Arabs, they lop their head off. He's going to be eaten up alive by lions. They famished the lion for 3 days. And for them, this is a Jew is going to fall there. Everybody comes and watch. However, they didn't get the spectacle they expected. What happened is the famished lion, they came like two toes, licking his feet like a nice little dog, happy when he sees his master after a long period he hasn't seen him. And they all sat down far away from him, you know, and he was sitting down on the floor and saying Tehillim. The Arabs couldn't believe their eyes. So one of the ministers, you know, hated Jews, said to the Sultan, don't worry, they're not hungry right now, but trust me, leave him here overnight, you will see tomorrow morning he will be eaten. And the next morning they come, and here is the Ohr HaChaim HaKadosh with his Tehillim, still saying Tehillim while the lions were crouching and not even looking at him, looking fine and everything. Sultan said, let's wait a few hours so we have at least a full day. They waited. The Sultan said, bring back. He is a holy man. For lions not to eat, we've never seen that. Lions didn't eat whatever prey we sent them. Bring him back up. He brought him back. He went on his knees. And he says, I'm asking you for forgiveness before everybody. The Ohr HaChaim HaKadosh forgave and everything. The minister said to the Sultan, what are you doing in front of him? Sultan got tired. He pushed him into the lion's den. The lions jumped on him, tore him apart within seconds. This is Torah Yikar, but we see they all had a Parasha. The Ohr HaChaim HaKadosh had a Parasha. And we all know the story between the Ohr HaChaim HaKadosh and the Baal Shem, that they wanted to meet because they would bring the Baal Shem was the Mashiach ben Yosef. The Ohr HaChaim HaKadosh had the potential. He was a Mashiach ben David, but Hashem made a lot of circumstances that they should not meet. The Komana HaKadosh comes with a different angle to teach us something else about this subject. He says, do you know why you need? It's a must. It's an obligation. It's a chiyuv to work. Why? He says because there are three options. If you work all the time and never learn Torah, you live in the physical world, in the lower world, and your depth of thinking, your das is like this, not even an inch. And you think you're a tzaddik. And you have nothing to correct because you have no depth anymore. You can't understand things. If you learn Torah the whole time and you don't understand the hardship of your brothers and everything, you feel holier than them. You feel you're a tzaddik. And you still have no understanding. However, when you have a foot on each side, you feel incomplete. And that's incompletion that makes you attractive to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. The fact a lowly person, a person feels he is incomplete, he sees the lowly world and he can judge with his Torah, that he does not accomplish everything, and he wants more. This histoikikus, this feeling to want more and to get closer to HaKadosh Baruch Hu is HaKadosh Baruch Hu putting it in your heart. It's not out of a bad feeling. Don't use it as a stick to hurt yourself. No, that's the power you have to raise yourself closer to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. If you did not want something, would you pray for having a big parnasa? No, if you were not tempted by this, so HaKadosh Baruch Hu implemented in the person this will to not only this, now the Kamana goes deeper into the Lamed Tes Melachos. He says there's a tremendous tikkun, and the Kamana was Kodesh Kodashim, a Mekubal, like he lived in the mid-1800s, but his Torahs, I can tell you, they're from the 1600s. Tremendous. So the Dusha, like unbelievable. So he says there's a tremendous tikkun when a person works and he knows it's to support himself, because otherwise, like the Mechaber says, a person that has no way to support himself, he would rebel to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. He would start stealing. This is why a person who has no means, no access, no connection to money will find prohibited ways in order to access money when he's in time of need. That's the nature of the person. He will rationalize it and he will do it. Therefore, the Torah says, Bechol derachecha da'eru. Shlomo HaMelech in his Chochmah says, in all your ways you have to know Hashem. Meaning, even when I'm at work, I am doing the Retzoin, the will of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. He wants me to be here because here, when you go down to work, you are in the belly of the nachash, of the snake. He swallowed, when someone does a head, he swallowed all the sparkles of Kedusha. You are down there, why? Not for no reason, just to support yourself. No, there's a much deeper, the thoughts of HaKadosh Baruch Hu are so deep, we can't even see the surface. Because you are there. From the time of Adam Arisha until now, nobody has been attending these very nitzots that you're going to bring up on that very day. Nobody. And it's time, the time has arrived for this correction. And you will do it. And that's the reason it's mandatory to work. Now, if we look, and that's the command on the Mishnah, I just want to bring you briefly what the Avos, the Rabbi Nassan, Obviously, Rabbi Nassan, it's a pirush on Pirkei Avos, just as you know. I would have loved to read it with you. I'm just going to give you a brief summary on this. I'm going to take it because I don't know it by heart. The Mishnah says, "Ehoiv es hamelacha." You must love work. Don't reject it. Don't think it's lowly and whatever. No, cherish it. Look forward to it. But you have to understand, with the kelim you have in your mind, that's not your main task in this world. Your main task is when you're learning and when you're accomplishing, you're doing mitzvahs. But still, when you're working, you're accomplishing a tremendous mitzvah to support your family. So don't take it as a lowly task. And says the Avos, the Rabbi Nassan, the same way the Torah was given through an alliance, the work was given through an alliance. Sheshes Yamim Tavoid. He's explaining the reason of that pasuk that it says, for 6 days you will work, and the 7th day is Shabbos Lashem. This is a bris. This is an alliance HaKadosh Baruch Hu made with the Bnei Yisrael that they should work. Rabbi Akiva, the Rebbe of Shin Bar Yochai, Rabbi Meir Bar Anes, the Talmud of Rabbi Eliezer HaGadol says, sometime a person is saved through work, is saved from death, and sometime because he doesn't work, he's chayav misa. Again, Rabbi Akiva says, sometime work will save a person from death, and sometimes the fact he does not work, he will be chayav misa. How is it possible? He says, look, when a person doesn't work the whole week, he bums around. Come Shabbos, he has nothing to eat. Oh, he knows that he has money in his house, which is from Hegdesh. He has no choice. He has to eat. He'll find a way to rationalize that it's permitted for him to take it. So now he's moyel in Hegdesh. So he desecrated the Hegdesh, the Kedusha of this money. He's chayav misa. A person that works will be saved from misa. How? He's working in the Beis Hamikdash, in building. He's one of these laborers, and he's being paid. Any money that goes to the Beis Hamikdash is Hekdesh, but they give him the salary from the moment of Hekdesh. And then at that point, it's mutar to use it. You see, the same moment is Hekdesh. One, he will be killed because he desecrated it, and the other one, in contrary, through the job, you see the difference. I'll bring you another example. Which one? There's so many in there. He says, Rabbi Tarfon says that even HaKadosh Baruch Hu preceded in our Parasha a work before he puts his Shechina. If there was no work, remember HaKadosh Baruch Hu required 13 things to be brought to, we mentioned that yesterday, to be brought to the Mishkan. I'm going to go a little bit deeper on this 13th thing in a moment, but we will see. And he says, first build the Mishkan, first toil and work on the woods, prepare everything. HaKadosh Baruch Hu could have the Midbar, the Dordea. Bring down a Mishkan from Shamayim. No, I'm not bringing a Mishkan from Shamayim. It has to be. You have to work. And Rabbi Tarfon says from here it's a proof that a person is mechuyev to work. Rabbi Meir, Rabbi comes from a different angle. Rabbi Yehuda Anasi. And he says, when a person doesn't work, people talk about him. How is he supporting himself? Where is he getting his money? And look what he compares it to. He compares it to a woman that has no husband, and she goes outside all made up. So everyone's asking questions, oh, who is she trying to attract here? She has no husband. What is she trying to do here? So everybody becomes suspicious. Don't let people talk about you, because you're gonna pay the price. And finally, I just want to bring Rabbi Meir, because it's a very big lekach what Rabbi Meir says. He says a person that doesn't work the whole week will come to steal. He will turn to be a thief. So sometime, because a person doesn't work, he will become a Chalal Shabbos. How is it possible? If he worked, he had money for Shabbos, so he keeps Shabbos. So you can see work supports Shabbos, this klipa around the fruit. However, someone who doesn't work and will come with a funky way to get money, he will get caught, he will be thrown into jail, and they will force him to work on Shabbos. And this is not a oinus, it's his own making. He will be chai. I mean, all the Tanoim here, we haven't tried to speculate about, funny reasons why work is so important. We see it revolves around the person and around the mitzvahs. Let's go a little bit, a drop deeper here. Where's my sheet? So we say here, 6 days, you have to work. And we asked a fair question. This Yitke Vavke, we re-asked a fair question. Okay, so I want to know, what's the soid in the Sheshes Yamim? What is the Torah always coming these 6 days? I know the 6 days are against the 6 spheres, Chesed, Gvura, Tiferes, Netzach, Hod, Yesod. The Malchus is just a summary of all of them. So these are the ones that control this world, fine. But why do I have to do, and how do I affect the upper spheres here? Look well what's coming out here. Nefesh, Ruach, Neshama, Chaya, Yechida. In other words, we call it the Ner Nechi. That's the abbreviation. If you ever see this, you know exactly what he's talking about. A person is composed, when he was born, we saw that in Parshas Mishpatim, only the Nefesh. He deserves the Ruach. He deserves more than Neshama. And now, at this point already, the person is a tzaddik. If a person can deserve Chaya, he's beyond. Yechida is the highest level of Neshama. So this is a Nefesh to the Yechida, this is a Ruach to the Yechida, and this is called a Neshama to Neshama. To tell you the refinement of the Yechida. Tzaddikim, through Torah, it's extremely hard. However, in the Sheshes Yamim, that's the way to get it. The Ner Nechi becomes accessible through a Melacha. So we're not here talking about a specific route. No, Avodas Hashem. The proper Avodas Hashem, what is it? Do we have to use the route of melacha? The answer is clearly yes. Yes. That's your only way to get chaya and yechida. Otherwise, a person will not be able to have it. Now, if I would take this number, I will translate it in a different way. Equals, I have an English keyboard, sorry, so it's hard for me to remember the letters. Me times Yud K Vav K. It's a different way to put 1100. 50 times 26 equals 1100. But you know that who's called me is the Bina. This is a terminology for the Bina. Mi kashem Eloikeinu. Usually people translate, who is like Hashem? No, me is the Bina. You're referring to the Mida Eloikim Chaim, Melech Chofetz B'Chaim. This Melech, HaKadosh Baruch Hu uses different clothes on different Mida. We learned it from the Midrash, Keye Asher Keye. The HaKadosh Baruch Hu is called by the Mida that he's wearing at that time. And at that time, when he wears the Bina, it's called Melech Chaim. Like we said it many times, I mentioned it many times that on Yom Kippur, Rosh Hashanah, this is the Mida we use. So we've been talking all these months about going up this ladder here. Man, I have to bring it closer. So we are here and we go through the Malchus, Ze Hasha'ar Hashem. This is the gate to Hashem, meaning to the Yud Ke Vav Ke to come up here. And now you go Yesod, Hod, Netzach, Tiferes, Gvura, Chesed. And this is already very hard to get to the 7. And we've seen this is Abraham, Yitzchak, Yaakov, Moshe, Aaron, Yosef, David. And you want to tell me I'm accessing this? Yes, you're accessing here. Because otherwise you cannot get the Chaya and Yechida. Chaya and Yechida are above this world. Torah said, after that we saw in the Pasuk, you should work. Okay. We asked the question, is it a mitzvah? Okay. Let's see what it is. This equals 476. And this equals 7 times Chaim, life. 7 times 68 equals 476. Meaning you accomplish what you have done. What did I just say before? The Bina is Melech Chaim. The king of life, providing life. And we said yesterday, life means no problems, happiness, calm weather, and so forth. So you have accomplished, and we said before, it's the Sheshes Yamim, you have accomplished, you're above the 7 meters. Yes, you are above, because you fill them up with Chaim. That's why you deserve to arrive to the Mi, which is the Bina, and get the Chaim directly from the Melech, without intermediary. So Tavod, by working, you're bringing up a life, not only to you, to the whole, all the worlds up there and the worlds down here. Okay. I like what I hear. Now let's analyze what's the end of the pasuk is hiding behind these words, and you'll do all your work. This equals, let me explain you. When we put the talis in the morning, we say a Leshem Yechud before. Because this talis that you're wearing for Shacharis in the morning is the very talis we will wear in Olam Haba. That's going to be our cloth. Only what? Instead of being wool, it's going to be of light. It's the kosnois oil, the cloth of light. This is a cloth of light, but because it's in the physical world, we can't see the light. We see the physicality of it only. But really, it's the cloth of light. And the nefesh, so when we wear it, we have intention that it should be a merit to create a cloth of light, which we call chaluka de rabbanan, a cloth of chachamim, that for the nefesh, for the ruach, for the neshama, we need 3 talis to prepare in our life. And this is 3 times talis. Your job is what really prepares you for the next world to have. Yes, we need the inside light. And yes, we understand that we're getting it with the 22 letters of the Torah. But we need also not to be chas v'shalom naked and have a tremendous desire, eternal shame in the next world. We need to be clothed. And this is the talis that will clothe. And we need nefesh, ruach, and neshama for the 3 of them. And here is how you're accomplishing it. The pasuk cannot be clearer than that. The pasuk gave us pairs. Okay, 13 things to bring to the Beis Hamikdash, but they're all by pairs. Okay, it says like this: we have neiros. It's written like this, okay, not with the vav, so you can be able to read it. Neiros. Sorry, goes with mikdash. Okay, you know why? Because these 2 equals nefesh, ruach, neshama, chaya, yechida. Go work, prepare them. Torah told us to bring the shemen and the ktoros, and it's also written without vav. Do you know why? Because they equal again to nefesh, ruach, neshama, chaya, yechida. Exactly. Do you see the hint here? It's already not a hint, it's an elephant in the room. We cannot anymore doubt that it's just a suggestion. It's obviously an obligation. We understand now that this is the will of HaKadosh Baruch Hu to, I'm not going to keep you much longer because I can't go all the way to the end of the shir, obviously, but at least we have. To take an example, you take Neiros. You're doing, okay, I'm going to prepare the lights for the menorah, the lights for the Beis Hamikdash, and and so forth. Lowly person. I'm a kohen, I'm working on the mizbeach. Oh, really? He's a lowly person? Okay, let me break it to you. Neiros equals 650. 25 Yud Kei Vav Kei. You thinking you're taking the low route. No, you're taking the high route. Whatever seems, and it's obvious in this world, is just the opposite to it. Once you see yourself doing a task, which to your eyes or to the eyes of the public seems lowly, it's not. It's a highly regarded task by HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Oh, by the way, you know what 25 times Yud Kei Vav Kei is? Koi, the Shekhinah. You're putting the Shekhinah and the Yud Kei Vav Kei in a tremendous level of Yichud. You know how much Shefa you bring with your little job? Okay, good luck. I had luck with one. Fine. Mikdash. Sometimes we call it Mishkan, something we call it Mikdash. The Torah is playing with these 2 names. What are you trying to tell me? Mikdash 444. 4 times Aleph. How much in the Kavanas of Yom Kippur, I've said it too many times, this you should know by heart. How many times in the Kavanas of Yom Kippur we thinking about the name Kehye? 4 times. First bracha, second bracha, third bracha, and the 4th one. So we have Magen Avram, Ata Gibor, Kadosh, and then the bracha. It's when he say Imla Hashem Lo Ilam Lekeres in the Luka. Mekadesh when he's Mekadesh Yisrael B'Yom Hazikaron 4 times, because there's 4 expansion of the name Kehye. What did Rabbi Yaakov Abuchatzera say on this? This is the kapara. This is the name of the kapara. Mikdash, what it comes for? To be mechaper on the Bnei Israel, because the 4 names of Kehye are there. Oh, you working a lowly life, a lowly job, because you're putting up. You have to toil, put the cement in the Beis Hamikdash, brings the stone, brings the marble in the Mishkan. You're toiling under the sun and making beautiful posts for the Mishkan and everything. I feel terrible for you. And then you have the Kohen working with his white, beautiful clothes and looks at you like, low life. Low life me? No. Low life you. To look at someone like this. Because of me, the Shem Kehye is coming down. I'm creating the Kli. And this is the opportunity you have. This is the tikkun. So on Shabbos, the tikkun on the Lametes Melachas is not to do the Melachas. On the 6 days, the tikkun of the Lametes Melachas is to accomplish the Lametes Melachas. And just getting to the end now here. When we do the shofar on Yom Kippur, we have sets of 30 koilos, right? We spoke about it. The kavana is each one is the koil we're trying to put the chokhmah and the bina yud k together, and so yud k vav k and aleph hey yud hey in the bina. The 2 names should be staggered. If you're taking 30 times, so each coil and it's groups of 30 coils. Tashra, Tasha, Tara, 3 times each one, 30 coils, 30 sounds. If you take 30 times Yud Ke Vav Ke, just 30 times Yud Ke Vav Ke alone, 30 times 26 equals 780. Tisha B'Av. We're removing the day. So not only we come here to be mechaper on the avodas here, but we want to take also from the pile that created Tisha B'Av. If you take all alone 30 times Kehye, 30 times 21 equals 630. I don't want to say these names at night, but the Samakel, the Lilith, his wife, and the Chet, which is the Kripa. The 3 together, 630. But now, when you put together 30 times Yud Ke Vav Ke and Keye, which is 47, 30 times 47, I know I lost you right there. I want to be too fast because I want to not to drag you. So we attacking Tisha B'Av by not just attacking the day, we attacking the head, what creates it. And so the Shem Keye goes against the Malachim because the Bina is the mother, and if you touch her children, she will avenge them. So she goes after the 2 Nachash, the Sam and the Lilith, and the Klipa of the Chet, and try to grab them from the throat. The Yud Ke Vav Ke goes after the day. But once you combine them, we're gonna find exactly the words of what we said before. The Mishnah Hillel says, Al tifrosh min hatzibur. Never separate. Everything you do it with a tzibur, right? That the Me'or Vashemesh we opened up the shir with. Always do it with a tzibur. So once you put together the 30 times Yud-Ke Vav-Ke and Keye, like we do in the Shofar, the same Kavana is Al Tifrosh Minat Tzibur. Whenever you with the Tzibur, these names, this power is available to you. These two names are available to you, and these are the names that destroy the bad decrees. Yud-Ke Vav-Ke is all, from the side of the Chochmah, only Chesed, and the Bina is the Gvura. So the Bina will destroy the dinim, the bad decrees, and the bracha on Parnasa and everything will come from Yud-Ke Vav-Ke. I just wanted to decipher you here, dissecate exactly how it works when you go in the tzibur. What do I do? What do I achieve? How do I achieve? You know me, if I don't learn that way, I'm not ready to give a share. I don't want to extend it because there's plenty more to say now, because I'm arriving to the part of the Truma, and how Rabbi Yochanan Buchatzera explains it, through the three tefillas, 3 times teruma, can I get the 3 tefillas? I just want to finish with the midrash then, because I don't want to extend it. How much oil there is after that, I took it to another level, but just let's finish. The midrash in Vayikra Rabbah, base, kedai, you learn it. It's a midrash Rabbah on Vayikra, base, explaining the pasuk Haben Yakir Li Ephraim. The midrash says, whenever Hashem says the word Li, Vayikhu Li Teruma, he said it 13 times. It's for this world and the next world. Can never abolish it. When you take the purpose of the whole Truma, as we explained yesterday, was to bring the Malka, the queen, the Malchus, the Shechina to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, elevate her through Asiya, Yetzira, Beria, and to the Atzilus, where HaKadosh Baruch Hu is. At that point, we have achieved the goal of our Truma. And what comes out of it will be tremendous. So the pasuk says, you know what? I'll finish on the words of this pasuk. It's a good conclusion. Ve'ikchuli, they will take from me, and we ask the question. And we have here, let's call it a different way. And this one, a different color also. If you take these 2 words, Li and Asher, I'm going to rewrite them in a different way that you will understand. Whenever you see them in a pasuk, you know they're fundamental for creating the personality and who is a Yisrael. HaKadosh Baruch Hu, through the Truma, by elevating the Truma through our davening betzibur, because now we see the power there is in the tzibur, we basically become a Ben Yisrael. That's how you become. Not everybody is a Ben Yisrael. Yeah, they're Jews, they're Yehudi. By Yisrael, it's a different bracha. The Bnei Yaakov, yes, at the lower level, but Yisrael, no. Yisrael is when you do that. What have you done? You have done Li, like Rashi said, Lishmi. It was for HaKadosh Baruch Hu. That's the power. And Asher, you have brought the Shechina on top. This equals 501. We mentioned many times, equals Hamalchus. But that's not what I'm here to say today. How many limbs has a male have? 248. How many limbs a woman have? 252. That's the proof. Asher, you made the yichud, HaKadosh Baruch Hu and Shechina. That's why it goes inside. That's how a person becomes a Ben Yisrael. That's how he is zoiche to the oir from the Yudke Vavke, and at that point, it's all the lights. It hurts me not to be able to pass all this, but too bad. He's getting the light that was written in my Bereshis. All the 5 times oil shine on that person. That's why the word li, our Kadosh Baruch Hu, on the outside, in the opposite way in Yisrael. Yisrael start with the Yud, li start with the Lamed. But the last letter is Lamed, because we're going up, HaKadosh Baruch Hu is going down. So we have HaKadosh Baruch Hu, the light protecting us, and in the center, there's a Yichud of HaKadosh Baruch Hu and Shekhinah. Baruch Adonai le'olam, amen ve'amen. I didn't expect to do longer than yesterday, but unfortunately,